Some artists choose a distributor for the wrong reasons altogether. I mean, they follow the hype sometimes, they follow whatever their favorite content creator might be saying. Sometimes they follow advertisements, right? And then they wonder why their releases feel stuck in the mud. So if that sounds familiar, then stay with me because this video is all about a distributor that you may not have even heard of. It's one that doesn't necessarily get all the hype, but I have been getting a lot of questions about it from my viewers. So I'm talking about Amuse. And today I'm going to tell you there's actually a couple of types of artists who should literally never use Amuse. And there's something about Amuse that artists may never notice, and it actually affects how your master reaches the platforms. It affects your sound before anyone even gets to hear your song. I'm Kevin from Innovaniac Music. I've used different distributors, DistroKid, CD Baby. I've done this for years. And I haven't used Amuse personally, but I have studied it deeply, and I've watched a lot of artists succeed and struggle with Amuse. So my goal today is really simple. I just want to save you time. I want to save you from frustrations, and I want you to choose a distributor that supports you for the kind of artist that you are and how you create. So I'm going to jump right in. Well, what do you need to know? Okay, first of all, Amuse is a digital distributor that sends your music to all the major platforms. Spotify, Apple Music, TikTok, YouTube Music. But right off the bat, Amuse is a little bit different, right? When you compare it with the majors like DistroKid, you're going to see they actually send your music to fewer channels than DistroKid. Yes, they do hit the big ones like Spotify, but they also miss some of the smaller ones. While DistroKid reaches over 150 platforms and retail stores worldwide, Amuse only hits maybe 50 to 60 last time I looked. Is this something that should be important to you as an artist? Well, if your priority is maximum possible reach, especially in secondary or regional markets, then DistroKid really covers more ground than Amuse. But for core streaming exposure, either one kind of works well. So check their official store list for the exact partners that they use right now because they do add new ones sometimes. Okay, 3 things that you need to know about Amuse. Comparisons aside, is first that they offer unlimited releases for a yearly subscription. Second, you keep 100% of your royalties. And third, the entire system is really built around this mobile experience for upload and collaboration. And that's the simple explanation. Now, let's talk about who Amuse is actually built for. If you drop music often, Amuse could make sense. And beat makers, producers, artists that release monthly, I'd say, unlimited uploads matter when you release a lot. And if you work with vocalists, producers, or teams, Amuse becomes very attractive. Their royalty split system is included, and it's very simple. And if you're just starting and want something predictable and affordable, well, Amuse is kind of a safe entry point then. And if you're building momentum and you want access or advances or potential label services, Amuse offers that path too. Now, pause here for just a second because this is where the twist comes in. If you release rarely, then Amuse is definitely not for you. I mean, the subscription becomes a waste and you're going to pay every year for something that you barely even use, right? Though I've had big problems with CD Baby for customer support and the cost, and for that reason I would caution anyone against considering them. A model similar to CD Baby becomes a better fit for people that hardly ever make releases because you only pay when you drop something. And that is really the first big filter, release rhythm as an artist, right? And now that you know who Amuse is for, let's talk about the part artists care about the most, which is money, obviously. Amuse Artist is about $24 a year. Amuse Artist Plus is about $40 a year, and Pro starts at around $60 a year. Unlimited releases, no commission, splits included. DistroKid Musician then is about $23 a year, and Plus is about $40 a year, and they have this premium called Ultimate, which is about $80 a year. Unlimited releases, no commission, splits are included only on higher tiers though. TuneCore New Artist is free, but you do pay per release, kind of like CD Baby. And their Rising Artist is about $15 a year, and their Breakout Artist is about $30 a year. They actually have a professional level too, which is about $50 a year. Unlimited releases on the paid tiers, no commissions, splits included. All right, and then CD Baby. So CD Baby Standard is about $10 per single or $30 per album released. And their Pro version costs more per release, but then you get more royalties. They do take a 9% commission. Splits could be included, but if you release rarely, like I said before, A model similar to CD Baby could be cost effective. If you release often, it just becomes expensive really quickly.
This is just way too confusing, man.
Consider this. Say you release 10 singles, or you release one album plus 5 singles, right? What does it mean over the course of a year? Or what about over the course of 3 years? So I want you to see the real cost of releasing music over time, not just the subscription or the price, but the actual cost after 1 year and after 3 years. I want you to see the ROI when you factor in the royalties, for example. So to keep this simple, let's assume that you earn $1,000 in royalties every year for 3 years, right? That's $3,000 total. Here's what you actually get to keep with each one. Amuse at $24 to $60 a year, $72 to $180 after 3 years, 0% commission. You keep the full $3,000. Your net after 3 years is somewhere between $28.20 and $29.28. All right. DistroKid then, $23 to $80 a year, $69 to $240 after 3 years. Again, 0% commission. Your net after 3 years is between $27.60 and $29.31. All right. TuneCore then, $15 to $50 per year, right? $45 to $150 after 3. Again, 0% commission. Your net after 3 years is between $28.50 and $29.55. All pretty similar, right? CD Baby, $80 to $100 per year depending on your release pattern, $240 to $300 after 3 years, and a 9% commission. Well, you lose $270 to commission, and your net after 3 years then is only $24.30 to $24.90. This is why your release rhythm matters so much. Subscription models are kind of like an all-you-can-eat buffet. If you come in hungry and keep bringing that plate back over and over again to refill it, then you win. And if you just go once, then you lose. Subscription models kind of reward frequent releases. Pay per release kind of punishes them. And a commission-based model always takes a percentage no matter what you do. All right, now we've covered the money. Let's talk about the features that actually help shape your workflow then. Your master is the heart of your music. And if the distributor forces you to upload a lower quality file, or if it compresses your audio on the way in, then you lose clarity before your song even reaches those platforms. So on the Artist Plus plan and the Pro plan, Amuse allows you to upload high-resolution audio. You can upload 24-bit WAV files, you can upload higher sample rates, you can upload FLAC files. But here's the part that most artists may not know, which is the basic Amuse plan doesn't include high-resolution audio. And I want to be honest with you here. This is one of the reasons that I really can't recommend Amuse for a lot of artists. I mean, sound quality for me, it's just a deal breaker. I want the freedom to upload the highest quality version of my music and my master on every single plan. And we should also talk about splits. So brand new artists may not think about splits as much, but I do want to encourage you to kind of think ahead. So Amuse includes splits. In fact, it's one of their best features, and they do it on every plan. TuneCore and DistroKid included on all the paid plans. And CD Baby includes splits, but they charge per release, like I said. Now, splits protect your relationships, and they help you keep your projects organized, and they prevent arguments. And honestly, once you start using automated splits through your distributor, you're never going to want to go back. Another consideration is how fast your distributor gets your music out to platforms and streaming channels. For some artists, this could be more of a priority. Honestly, for me, I can be a little bit more patient with this, but honestly, I'm using DistroKid already, and they are the fastest one out there. Amuse is steady, but maybe a little bit slower. TuneCore is reliable, but not as fast as DistroKid. And CD Baby is definitely slower because it's built around a manual review process. All right, and analytics are important too. I mean, they help you determine what's working and what isn't when it comes to your music, right? They give you ideas about how to build your audience, and TuneCore actually has the deepest analytics of all of them. Amuse gives you daily insights, but not really the same depth. DistroKid gives you the basics. CD Baby gives you enough to kind of understand your audience, but still, for me, this is just not terribly important because you can get great analytics directly through Spotify, YouTube, and other channels already, and it doesn't really matter what distributor you use. Now, artists frequently raise concerns about customer support, so I'm going to talk about this, and not only for Amuse, but really for all distributors. And when I had a hard look at reviews and typical response times and the ability to interact with a human, for example, And just overall satisfaction, I'd say that Amuse might have a slight edge on the majors, but not by much, if I'm being honest. I conducted a comparison in a prior video where I highlighted a couple of options that really stand out when it comes to customer support and service, like far better than CD Baby, DistroKid, TuneCore, or Amuse. So be sure to check out that video too if support is really at the top of your list. All right, we've covered a lot, but there's one last thing that you need to hear. Publishing administration is one of the most misunderstood parts of music distribution. A lot of artists think that signing up for like ASCAP or BMI covers everything, but it does not, all right? A PRO only collects performance royalties, and that means radio, live performance, and part of your streaming royalties. It doesn't collect mechanical royalties, it doesn't collect international, it doesn't collect sync, or even royalties from platforms that your PRO doesn't talk to. ASCAP charges $50 for songwriters and $50 for publishers. And BMI is free for songwriters, but $150 for publishers. Now, if you want full coverage, you need both accounts, and that's a one-time cost of $100 to $150, depending on which PRO that you choose to go with. If you use Amuse or DistroKid, you actually have to handle all of this yourself. You have to register every single song manually, and you have to track down mechanical royalties too. You have to track down international royalties. And if you don't do it, then you leave money on the table every single year. And TuneCore and CD Baby do offer publishing administration. They collect royalties that your PRO can't. And they register your songs for you, and they collect international royalties. They collect mechanical royalties. They collect sync royalties. And they collect royalties from countries that you may not be able to reach on your own. This is why publishing is so important. A PRO, though it's only half of the picture, if you're not using it, then you're missing out. So don't skip it because you have money on the table that you may not even realize. So how often do I release, and will I collaborate often, and do I need faster payouts, and what's my long-term strategy as an artist? Well, if you release often, then someone like Amuse could be a strong option for you. If you release rarely, maybe a model more similar to CD Baby could be better. If you rely on quick money to reinvest, DistroKid is definitely better. If you want advanced publishing, TuneCore fits better. And for me personally, sound quality comes first, and along with no commissions, quick releases, and 100% royalty payments, that's one of the reasons that I personally have continued to stick with DistroKid. Your distributor should support your goals and not limit them, not pressure them, and not drain your budget. Choose the one that fits the way that you create as an artist. Before you go, I want to hear from you, so tell me in the comments which distributor that you're using right now and why, and your experience might even help another artist make a smarter decision. And if you want more guides like this one, then subscribe to my channel. I'm going to go deep with other distributors soon. I'm Kevin from Innovaniac Music. We help indie artists make amazing music and build a growing audience. So until the next video, dream big and create boldly.
100 miles per hour on that see-through. All I ever had is to be true. More like Swiss cheese when I approach these words. They got holes in them, so deep you can fill them up and swim in them. Not advisable, I would try it though. Walk with a cane on a rainy day. Big teeth out, that's a smiley face. Lights on, lights off, I'm amazed.